This is going to be the first lesson on history. So, what is modernity? We are going to read about to study about modern India. But before studying modern India, we have to study modernity. What is modern, or what does it mean by being modern? So, modernity is a period of transition of cultural, social, economical, and political uh, environment of a nation, or you can say uh, an age. Okay, so after the medieval period ended, the modern period began. Okay, after late medieval period, the modern period began. So it was not just about uh, a transition of age or a year, but the transition related to cultural, social, economical, and political environment of people. Okay, so what were the characteristics of this modern period? So these are the characteristics: exposure and global culture. So the trade between two nation or between more nation, bilateral trade, है ना, these were increasing. Industrialization, due to industrialization, new modes of production were being discovered, and due to this industrialization, new class, or you can say the divide emerged. New class began, which is also known as the middle class. The factory workers were now of middle class. Okay, and the class divide was like the factory owners, they were rich, and those who were working in the factories were poor. So the class divide were getting bigger and bigger. The divide between the rich and the poor was increasing. Okay, the new legal class was also emerging due to the contracts being formed. Okay, after that contains the regulations, the rules and regulations to run the industries. Okay, so the legal administration system was emerging. You can say modernity in Europe was from emerged from within the Europe, है ना, due to the Renaissance. Okay, but in India it was imposed by the Europeans. So there was not only a single European power, or the English or the Britons, but there were many European powers that came to India before Britain. Okay, so we have to study advent of European in order to study the modernity in India. Okay, so this is the series in which the European powers came in India. First one were Portuguese, second one Dutch, which were from Netherlands. The third one were Europeans or the Britons. Sorry, okay, it is not Europeans, it is English, or you can say Britons. Okay, uh, Britain. Okay, then the fourth one were Danish and then French. Okay, so with the Vasco da Gama in 1498, Portuguese became the first Europeans to came in India by sea. Okay, many European power like Alexander, he was also from Greece, है ना? So he had came to India by land but not by sea. So the Portuguese became the first European to came to come to India by sea. Then the Dutch in 1596, Cornelius de Houtman. Okay, he came to India. Then in 1608, by the ship Hector, Captain William Hawkins came to India at Surat. Okay, then English were followed by Danes, and then at last it was French, or France, you can say. So why these European powers were eager? We have to study that. Okay, so there are few reasons behind it. First one is the lack of roots. Okay, the Oriental goods, the Indian goods or the Eastern goods are also called Oriental goods. So their demand in the Europe part was very high. Okay, but due to lack of the a route from directly from the Europe to India was not there. So the middlemen like Arabs and Turkeys, they were rising the price of the Indian goods. Okay, so that was the main reason. So old sea routes, there were only three sea routes. Okay, the Persian Gulf one, the Red Sea one, and the Baltic Sea one. So let us see it in map, if I can show you. So here you can see this is the let me show you. This is the Persian Gulf and this is the Red Sea, and here it is the Baltic, and this is the Mediterranean Sea, as you know that. So Persian Gulf, from Persian Gulf land through Iraq and Turkey, again by water in Mediterranean, the two cities in Venice and Genoa, located here, somewhere here. Okay, so the goods were transported, and via the Red Sea overland to Alexandria in Egypt, from there by sea again the Mediterranean to Venice and Genoa. And due to India's northeast frontier, the Himalayas, this the third one uh, route was very dangerous and was not very accessible, was not very easy as compared to the prior. Okay, so there was a need for a direct trade route. Okay, as the capture of Constantinople by Ottoman Turk took place in the 1453, so this adversely affected the European trade with India. What was there that prior to this, the Constantinople was ruled by ancient Greek dynasty. Okay, I cannot remember the name exactly. So it was captured by Ottoman Turk, and then the Ottoman Turk were very related to the Arab. So there were there was Arab monopoly over this. Okay, over Constantinople, and Constantinople have a very strategic position in the Mediterranean, as it is located in the Turkey. Present day it is known as Istanbul. So here it is. So from here they unloaded the items and sent it to via the Mediterranean to the Venice and Genoa. But now this was also captured by the Ottoman Turks. So they wanted to sell they send their ships to Venice and Genoa, and for this they were charging price like very high price. So this was the reason, and to facilitate it, the Renaissance took place in the Europe, in the Western Europe, you can say exactly. Scientific development happened majorly in the area of agriculture. So there was practices of scientific agriculture which led to prosperity. Okay, the agriculture surplus was there, so humans as well as animals or the livestock could get enough food to eat, and there was prosperity. So the livestock, the population of livestock was increasing, higher supply of meat was there, and due to prosperity the people were now able to purchase goods at a higher price, or they wanted quality goods from India, है ना? And due to the increased supply of meat, their preservation also was also important, and the preservation of meat could be done with the help of the spices in found in the climate of India and Indonesia. Okay, so this were also the reasons behind them coming to India. So the art of shipbuilding took place, है ना? That was due to Adventism. Okay, so demand for Oriental goods was increasing. In summary, we can say, long story short. Okay, so the advent of Portuguese. We will see that Portuguese interested in India due to two reasons: the religious interest. They wanted to convert the Sultan, Sultan at Delhi, na, to Christianity, so that they can spread Christianity over India. Portuguese wished to spread Christianity in Asia and Africa and restrict increased influence of Arabs and Turks due to their conquest also. Okay, and then the second interest was due to the commercial interest. So to eliminate Arab and Italian influence and spice trade. So here you can say Italy is there. Italy is here before Venice and Genoa. Okay, so as in- increase in the number of the middlemen, the increase there is increase in the price of the commodity, and we can see it in the present time also. Okay, if we will buy the same product in the wholesale, it will cost much less. And if you will buy it on a branded shop located far away, and there is a branch of manager, branch of, so that will cost very high for you. Okay, so the Portuguese efforts, so there are four main major uh, characters who played great role in coming to India. Okay, so the first one was Prince Henry. So he was the son, fourth son of Raja. Raja means king. Okay, so King John first. He was the fourth son of King John first of Portugal. So he had enough money, enough resources uh, to spend on shipbuilding. Okay, so his dream could not be fulfilled because I don't know the reason. Okay, so but the research of Prince Henry was used by Bartholomew Diaz at 1487. So he was the first European to reach Indian Ocean from Atlantic. Okay, so he had three ships. The two are mentioned here: Sao Cristiavo and Sao Pantilio. Okay, so okay, so let me show you here. Mm, why is it not showing the full Africa part? Okay, so it is Portugal. You can say here it is Portugal. Okay, so they came from here to this part, the last part of the Africa, है ना? These uh, this part of Africa. So, and Indian Ocean is the one of the toughest ocean to sail. As they increase as they go far from here, their mist, or you can say the kapda over the ship, which helps it to float or take speed, was torn. Okay, so the kapda, ship ka kapda फट गया. Okay, but his research also, like Prince Henry, he used Prince Henry's research. So Bartholomew Diaz research was used by Vasco da Gama, and his ship was known as Gabriel. So he came to from Cape of Good Hope to India. Okay, so we'll let us read further about Vasco da Gama. So he was the first European to reach India from Cape of Good Hope by sea. Okay, so India, he reached Calicut, or you can say Kozhikode at in Kerala in 1498. Okay, he was piloted by a Gujarati named Abdul Majid. Abdul Majid was his pilot, or you can say the one who guides you. Okay, so he received patronage from king. Okay, Manuel first of Portugal, received by okay, patronage part is done here. Okay, so at Kozhikode he was received by Zamorin, ruler of Calicut. Manna Vikrama was the ruler of Calicut at that time, when Vasco da Gama reached there, when at 1498. Okay, at his ship Gabriel. Then the fourth one who reached uh, India was Pedro Alvarez Cabral. Okay, at 1500 he discovered Brazil. So you must remember his name due to these reasons. Okay, so important factories. What are important Portuguese factories? So what are factories? First of all, factories are the storage houses of goods, of commodities which Europeans wish to take to their countries. Okay, you can say they were godams. Okay, so there were many valuable things over at the factories, Anna. So that is why they were fortified to keep it protected. So the first factory was sited in 1500 at Calicut by Pedro Alvarez Cabral. Okay, so he was very arrogant. So there, this was closed at shut it down at the 1525. Okay, the next factory was set in 1503 by Vasco, and 1505 by Vasco himself. Okay, at Cochin and at Kannur. So Pedro Alvarez Cabral, why his factory shut it down? So his aim was for setting up Portuguese factory in India through a treaty with the Zamorin of Calicut. His aim was it, but why did it closed? Due to Arab-Portuguese conflict. Due to the revenge of this conflict with the Arab merchants, Cabral captured 10 Arab merchant ships anchored in harbor, massacred nearly 600 Arabs on board, and cargo को he just loot लिया and set it fire on the ships. So we will further read about Estado da India in the next video.